If any product deserves the lion's share of credit for Cadillac's ever-ongoing renaissance, it's the CTS. It was a promising sports sedan when it debuted for 2003. But it took the refinements of the second generation launched 5 years later before it really delivered. Recognizing this, we named the CTS to our 10 best list in 2008, 2009, and 2010. The third generation, introduced for 2014, continued the trend, a 10 bester again for 2014 and 2015. For 2015, the CTS couldn't have rested on its laurels even if it wanted. Part of the tweaks it received included a new Cadillac crest stripped of its familiar wreath. That brings us to 2016, where the big news is the replacement of the 2.0T's 6-speed automatic with a new 8-speed. Cadillac says fuel economy savings of 5% are possible when you combine the stop-start technology also added this year with the 8-speed's wide overall ratio and slightly taller top gear. More important, the quicker first gear ratio of 4.62:1 versus 4.06:1 will help drivers start off more confidently, with a greater feeling of immediate performance. Quote, undaunted by puffery that sounds like a pull quote from a Viagra ad. We tested a new CTS to validate these claims. Behind the wheel and on the track, a 1-to-1 comparison between old and new wasn't possible. Is the 2016 CTS 2.0T tested here had all-wheel drive, and the 2014 2.0T we tested was rear drive. It's worth pointing out that the cars proved to be nearly identical on the skid pad. However, with the 2014 pulling 0.83 grams versus the 2016 0.84. In terms of braking, the 2014 required 164 feet to stop from 70 miles per hour against the 2016's 177 feet. The difference likely due to the 185-pound weight advantage of the rear-drive 2014, with perhaps a small hat tip to its Pirelli P0 Nero rubber. The 2016 also was shod with Pirellis, but they were Cinturato all-season run flats. The 2014 CTS had a marginally greater output of 272 horsepower. This year, the 2.0T makes 268 due to a new powertrain calibration. Torque remains unchanged at 295 pounds-feet. Off the scales and on the track, this year's CTS shrugs off its penalties, essentially running even with its older sibling up to 40 miles per hour, thanks all-wheel drive launch traction. The 2016 pulls away by 60 miles per hour, getting there in 5.8 seconds, a 0.4-second improvement over its predecessor. New dispatch is old in the quarter-mile too. It's 0.3-second quicker at 14.5 seconds, although its trap speed of 94 miles per hour is slower by 1 mile per hour. How about fuel economy? The EPA rating for the 2014 CTS with all-wheel drive is 19 mpg city and 28 mpg highway. For 2016, the EPA estimates the all-wheel drive CTS at 21/29. We achieved 18 mpg in this test, one more than we saw from the AWD 2014 car. Once in the driver's seat, you'll find the same magnesium steering wheel mounted shift paddles as before, and they're as pleasing to use as they're to behold. Chevrolet needs to score these for the automatic transmission Corvette-like immediately. As with most other GM automatics, you select manual mode by pressing a button on the gear lever, and manual shifts here are paddle